So we will see together why the laterality and physiological measures are useful to assess and to understand the importance for the assessment of animals' welfare. In everyday life, horses have to face different stressors that can threaten their welfare. They can be related to the environment in which they live or to humans. But what do these stressors can cause to the animal's body? They have a lot of and several effects on the animal's physiology, including the increasing on the heart rate. And this can be due to the activation of the sympathetic nervous system. But the sympathetic nervous system can also have effect on animals' behavior, and in particular, it can increase the level of vigilance and the level of reactivity, as well as stress behaviors. So during stressful situations, the higher cardiac activity can be associated with the expression of really intense emotions like fear, aggression, or escaping behaviors. It is well established that the increase of the heart rate as well as the expression of intense emotions are mainly under the control of the right hemisphere. Animals' brain indeed is divided in two different hemispheres, the left and the right, which have complementary but different specializations. For example, concerning emotions, the left hemisphere is mainly involved in processing positive emotions, while the right hemisphere is mainly involved in processing negative emotions. But how can we measure this difference in the two hemisphere activity? There exist several neurological techniques which directly measure the brain activity, and for example, the electroencephalography. I use in my experiment the same device that Mathilde told about just before. But there is another way to assess brain lateralization in processing stimuli and analyzing, for example, the asymmetries in animals' behavior, for example, evaluating the head-orienting response. When an animal, in response to a stimulus, which is, for example, a sound broadcasted by a loudspeaker placed centrally and behind him, turns his head on one side, for example, left, it means that it is mainly the right hemisphere which is involved in processing this sound, and vice versa. So if he turns his head on the right side, it means that it is mainly the left hemisphere which is involved in processing this sound. So, analyzing the head-orienting response and behavioral asymmetries, changes in animals' physiology, and in particular the heart and brain activity as well as behaviors, could represent a useful tool to understand how animals perceive external stimuli and emotions, and how these emotions can impact their welfare. I am currently investigating two main topics, analyzing all these parameters in response to humans' vocalizations, and in particular how horses perceive human vocalizations which were previously associated with a positive or a negative experience, and how horses perceive human vocalizations which express different emotions. Merci.